All right, everyone, welcome to this live. Okay, guys, we're going to get right into it. So I know that a number of you guys that are photographers, artists, graphics, individuals who are working in the art industry, let me tell you, one of the biggest mistakes I ever made as a working photographer, content creator, is to avoid this product. I have been seeing, videos for years, people talking and, praising this product. And I was like, you know what? I don't need it. I'm just fine using my, finger on my trackpad or using a mouse or whatever the case it was. Trust me when I tell you there is no comparison to working with a pressure sensitivity pen on a tablet. No matter what tablet it may be, it's going to be better than what you have on your touchpad. Okay, so what we have here, this is the Wacom Intous Pro Medium. All right, so as you can see, it comes with a very beautiful box. They spent a lot of time working on the graphics for this. That's wonderful. And if you look here on the back, you see exactly what you're going to be getting when you purchase this tablet. So you will be getting the Wacom Pro Pen 2. It kind of outlines the dimensions of the tablet itself, the actual working area, and I'll show you that once we open the tablet. You have 8 express keys. You also have a touch ring, and this tablet is touch sensitive. So you have multi-touch, just like on your smartphone. Okay, so let's get right to it. So the box comes with, or should I say in, another box. They're all about the presentation, guys. They're all about the presentation. So let's get right to this. Okay, so taking a look, that's satisfying. Now, just to be clear, I previously purchased a small version of this tablet before. And with the working area that I was looking for to get from the tablet, I just wasn't happy with that. So I went ahead and returned that one and purchased this medium-sized tablet. So that's what we're seeing here. This is the medium tablet. And has really nice surface rubber feet underneath so it won't slide around your desk. We'll come back to this in a second. It also comes with all of your instructions. And most of us will never read these things, but trust me, take a little time and, spend a little time looking over these because there might be something in here that you can benefit from. Example being that you can purchase for the medium and the large a different surface for the top of the tablet. So if you want something that's a little bit more smooth or a little more rough, you can purchase that as an addition, and then you can place that on this tablet, and then you'll have a rougher surface or a smoother surface, whatever you choose to go with. And for the medium and the large, it also comes with, which I think is pretty cool, is a set of these little colored rings. And what you can do with those on your pen, you can replace the ring to a different color. So if you want it to be red or you want it to be green or black or silver, it's up to you. You just take the little top off, like so, and then you would just replace the ring. All right. So again, here's the pen. So we're going to get to the next little item. They definitely set you up for success. So this is the pen holder. This is very weighted. I can definitely feel the weight in my hand. And what's cool about this is it also comes with a little surprise inside or additional nibs. So you have 6 replacement nibs for the standard pen tip and 4 of the felt nibs if you like a more marker styled touch feel to your drawings. So you have that. All right, let's put this back together. Cool. Okay. And then, of course, it comes with, your USB cable that you'll need. But this tablet is also Bluetooth. So once you actually make connection, once you set everything up, you really won't need this cable again unless you're using it to charge it, because you will have to charge the battery. All right, so let's get this out of the way. All right, so here's our tablet. Pen holder. Let's take this little sleeve off. There's a pen holder. And like I said, we have our USB cable if you need it. And this is a USB-C. And you can use other USB-Cs to connect this to your device. In my case, I'm using, a MacBook. But, this will work just the same with the PC. So it's a win. So let's just get this unwrapped. Now, what's cool about this tablet is that whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it really doesn't make a difference. So however you want to set it up, if you want your keys to be on your left side or your right side, it's all up to you. I personally prefer the keys to be on my left hand, so that way I can, hit different buttons, even when I'm, if I'm drawing or if I'm working with the tablet, and I want to hit one of my, function keys, I can just tap the key and then I'm good to go. So different from the small, you have two additional buttons here at the bottom. You have one for power and one to turn off the touch sensitivity of the tablet. So once you switch this on and once we connect it to the computer, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and power this on. And it has some battery. That's good. Now, since I previously had a tablet, it's a good chance that the drivers that are on my computer are going to see this tablet and it's going to acknowledge it. Now, if you don't or have never had a tablet before, you will have to download the drivers, whether it's for PC or for Mac, just to get everything set up properly. And those drivers give you a bunch of new features that you definitely want to be able to benefit from. So let's go up here and take a look. And let's see. Let me make sure everything is connected. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking for the Wacom tablet. Let me switch over to a screen that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what you're looking at here is the driver, the Wacom Tablet Center. And what this allows you to do is to go in and set up your tablet and your pen for different functions. So you could use it, with the traditional, once you just first install this, you're going to have these basic settings. You're going to have one for the pen, which will be right click and double click. That's just very, very standard. But once you start adding your applications like Photoshop and, Final Cut or whatever it is, then you'd be able to go in and set these up individually per application that you're using. So if we go back to the settings, so you could see that here for Final Cut, I had something previously set up for the pen as well as for Photoshop. So, for the most part, everything is set up for this tablet as I would normally use it. So I really wouldn't have to do very much from my perspective. But like I said, when you're setting it up for the first time, you're definitely going to have to go through and set up these drivers. And it doesn't take very long. It just literally takes a few seconds. Once you download the drivers, you run them, if your tablet is plugged in, then you'll be able to utilize that, as quick as possible. So let's also go over and look at the benefits of using this tablet. So I'm just going to open just a very basic document. Actually, I'm just going to create one. So we're just going to go here and file new, just a blank document. Okay, so let's make sure it sees the pen. Yep, it's responding. That's good. So if we go over as an example and we say we wanted to just start painting something, and first thing we want to do is reduce the size of the pen. That's very important. So I'm going to make it really hard and I'm going to make it small. So if you see here, I'm just kind of drawing on the tablet. That's because I previously had this set up where I could press one button and resize the pen by just drawing, drawing back and forth. So if I pull down, it's going to make it harder. If I go up, it's going to make it softer. If I go to the left, it's going to make it smaller. If I go to the right, it's going to make it larger. And that's just to speed up my workflow. So for now, we're just going to go with a large, make that a little bit smaller. Okay, so we're going to go with black and we're just going to paint. So I'm just going to just paint really softly. And as you see, each time I paint, it gets darker and darker and darker. And that's where the pen pressure sensitivity comes in. So let's go up here and see exactly which. So let's go with a hard brush. So even with a hard brush, that would normally be very, very hard. And we're going to look at our opacity because our flow is very low. So let's just bring that flow up to 100. And as you can start to see here now, much darker ink being applied, to the canvas. And the reason why you would want to have that ability to go as soft as you want to or as hard as you want to, especially if you're doing retouching, where you're dealing with the human body or faces and things like that, as a photographer, you want to be able to gently apply whatever effects that you're doing, whether it's makeup or skin retouching, or if you're reshaping the body or something like that, especially in Photoshop. Now, a lot of these same features will work for you in Final Cut for video editing, for softening the skin, for drawing masks and things like that. So as an example, I could go down and I'm going to open a photo. Let's say this one. And I'll show you guys really simply. So we're going to first just zoom in here a little bit. And we start to see the imperfections that we would normally want to correct. Like there's some pimples, there are some other little imperfections, things in her skin that we'd want to fix. So once you go in here and you adjust your exposure, you get that about where you want it, adjust the contrast a little bit. I'm not going to go through the full steps and everything, but I'll just show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're just going to go ahead and open this image. And I'm going to give this computer a few seconds because I got a lot of things running at the same time. So I'm just going to go over here, click on my zoom tool, and I'll zoom in. And you can see that she has a little bit of acne. She has a few little things that, normally you would want to touch up. So one of the ways that I use a tablet is that, say, for instance, I wanted to, clean her skin up. The first thing I would do is I would duplicate that layer. So I would normally go in and I would create a duplicate layer. And on the Mac, that's going to be Command J. I think it's Control J on the PC. And then once I determine exactly what it is I want to clean up, then I would come over and just grab my spot healing brush. And actually, I want the spot healing brush. And then once I get my spot healing brush, I can then go in and start really cleaning up these areas. The only thing that can be a problem sometimes is that using too much pressure at certain points can create artifacts, and that's what you want to try and avoid. So as I go here, I'll choose my spot healing brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit further just so you guys can see what I'm working with here. So right here over her eye, there's a couple of pimples. So with that spot healing brush, I could just go in really lightly and just start masking those out. And as you see, it doesn't take much. But if I was doing this with my fingers, then it's a good chance that I'm going to be applying a little bit too much pressure. It's a good chance that I could, add some unwanted artifacts and things like that. So like I said, this definitely speeds up your workflow. And then as you go further in, you start to see other little things that you may want to take out, maybe like a few of these little pimples around her nose here, this line on her over her lip. And you can just, just kind of pencil those out. Just see them and just draw them out. Now, I mean, there's much more, to using Photoshop. And I'm not saying that if you get a tablet, it's going to instantly make you, a Photoshop expert. But what I am saying is having the right tools for the right job is going to make your job that much easier. So as I go through here, and even things that I have to deal with all the time, like flyaway hairs, this just makes it so much easier to get those hairs because I can just go in and just try and keep my pen size, my brush size as small as possible. And I'm doing that literally by touch. So instead of having to constantly resize my brush, all I'm doing here is just painting lightly, and I'm getting exactly what I want there. We're not going to do the entire thing, but I just wanted you guys to see exactly what I was talking about here with this. So we may come back to Photoshop here in a little bit, but for now, we're going to go over and take a look at some of the options that you guys have if you're interested in getting one of these tablets. So as you can see here on the site here, this is the tablet that I'm currently working with right now, which is the Medium. And this tablet, it goes on sale a couple of times, plus we got Black Friday and things like that coming up. So you guys may want to take a look at that, add this to your cart. Even if you don't purchase it right now, you can just add it to your cart. And then, if a sale comes up, then you could just jump right on it. So this is the exact same one you just saw me set up. Everything is pretty much the same here. The dimensions, the amount of keys, everything that you could think of that you would be able to, that you'd want from a tablet, I think this is going to give it to you. Now, let's say, for instance, you're on a budget and, you feel like that, that's a lot of money, to get started. One of the things you can do here is you can start looking at maybe their smaller tablets, which is the Intous. So the Intous starts about $70 or $80, I believe. We'll see here in a second. Yeah, so this one is $79.95, and it gives you a lot of the same features. You have 4 keys that you can program. It comes with, a pen. It doesn't come with the Pro Pen, but it comes with a really nice pen, to get you started if you're starting out as an artist or retoucher or something like that. So it just depends on, what you want to invest. And there's even a cheaper version, and I believe that one doesn't have Bluetooth. So let's take a look at this one real quick. Yeah, and this one is $49.95. So it's basically giving you a lot of the same features when it comes to using the pen, but you no longer have any buttons that you can program. But it's a very basic tablet, but for a lot of people starting out, that's all they need. They really don't need, all the buttons and the wheels and all that kind of stuff. Now, for you artists that's thinking about taking this to a whole nother level, then you start looking at some of the Wacom tablets that have far more features, so this Wacom tablet here, the Cintiq 16, actually has a built-in screen. So when you connect this to your Mac or your PC, you're actually drawing on the screen very similar to any other tablet like an iPad or something like that. And now, instead of having to worry about the hand-to-eye coordination that you will develop over time, from using a tablet, that's one advantage to working with one of these type of tablets is that you're drawing exactly where you see. Versus, like, say, the tablet that I'm using, there is a little bit of learning curve. There's a little, things that you will develop over time, to improve your skill set. But it takes time. So, don't give up on it. Trust me, I wasn't sure if this was going to work for me. And I was like, no, I don't think I really need this tablet. And then once I got one, I was just blown away with what I could do with it. So we're going to jump back over here to Photoshop really quick. So, here's a normal photo, a portrait that I would normally be working on. So let's say if we look at this portrait, I'm going to zoom out here real quick. And usually what I would do with something like this, if it's for a makeup artist, for one of the models that I work with, even for, executive headshots or something like that, it doesn't matter. Normally what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to soften the skin. We're going to enhance all of these features of the face. So I have a number of actions that I've created, that I use specifically for that purpose. So I'm just going to run one of my actions here real quick. So we're going to assume that I've already gone in and I've already cleaned up everything that I wanted to remove. So the only thing I'm focusing on now is, going to be, skin softening and things like that, right? So blending the skin. So we're just going to run this little action. And I'm not going to go through a lot of detail to try to explain to you exactly what the action does. I just want you to see the after effect and how well you can achieve the look you're looking for with a pen tablet. So I'm going to go in here and turn off a few things that I don't need on right now. And I'm just going to go in and start blending the skin. So basically this is called frequency separation. And I'm going to bring my brush size down a little bit. And let's make sure everything else is right. Okay, so I can just go in here now and just start mixing, blending her skin color. And because I'm using a pen, it gives me a lot better accuracy. So I'm just going to rush through this. I'm not going to, spend a lot of time editing this photo. Maybe in one of the future lives, I'll spend a little bit more time, doing these type of edits. If you guys like this type of stuff, this type of content, I'll be more than happy to do it here. Okay, so I'm just going in and I'm just softening the skin up. Okay. And the reason why it's black and white is basically black and white layer gives you, it's more like a helper layer. It's just so you can see where the colors are. So I'm just blending the colors. That's all I'm blending here, not the texture. And let's go down here, maybe get our arm real quick. Now, of course, if I was doing this for a client or someone else, obviously I would be spending a little bit more time. But, for the sake of this live, we're just going to get in here and just, kind of knock it out. All right, we're almost there. And I don't care who you are. Everyone has, some inconsistencies in their skin tone. And, everyone's not going to want, this level of retouching. But, when you're working with makeup artists, when you're working with makeup brands or fashion brands, it's a good chance it's going to be something that they're going to ask for, this level of retouching. So let's just grab our photo. So now I'm going to turn the texture layer back on. And I'm going to show you the before and after. It's before and after. I don't know how well this is going to translate to this live, but you can start to see, how the skin is blending much better around her eyes, her chin, her cheeks. And that's all you're really doing here is just really trying to blend the skin colors together. Of course, you can go in and do more. Most of the things that we usually use, a tablet for the most part, is going to be for your dodging and burning, when you're kind of burning down the texture of the shadows in the skin. So if I turn this off completely, you'll see like a little jump. And then normally what I would do is create a stamp layer, and then I would go in and start doing my little dodging and burning. And that's where you really see the power of a tablet when you're doing dodging and burning. So I'm going to run my little dodge and burn action here real quick. And I'm going to select the dodge and go down and create really quick a black and white layer. Now, like I said, if you guys are interested in learning this type of stuff, I'd be more than happy to, do a couple of videos, where we walk through step by step, exactly how I'm doing this and why I'm doing it. So this black and white layer is doing the same thing we were doing before, but it was allowing us to see where the highlights are and where the shadows are. So I'm just going to crush the reds. And now that's really going to show me where the highlights are and where the shadows are. And red and yellow are the two colors that make up the skin. So if I go to dodge, which means to lighten, and I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger and then a little softer. That's way too big. So if I go in here and I just start just softly painting into the bright areas. And don't let the ring that you see here on the screen fool you, because it's only applying it exactly where I'm applying the pen strokes. So as I go along her cheek line here, around the T-zone, just add just a little bit of light. And then if I go back, let's see how much we have on our flow. Let's bring the flow up a little bit more so you guys can really see what I'm doing here. So you can start to see where everything is lightening up. Now, like when I'm working with fitness models, that's when I really use a lot of the, dodging and burning, because they really want the muscles to stand out. And I'm overdoing this, way overdoing this, but I just want to make sure that you'd be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn off the black and white layer, and then I'm going to turn off the dodging and burning. And you'll see how the skin is popping. And that's basically what it's for. But the advantage to being able to use a pen-sensitive tablet is what's going to be able to take you to the next level when it comes to editing any type of photos. It doesn't make a difference if you're working with models, if you're working with a picture of a car or food photography. All of these same principles still apply. So it just depends on exactly what it is that you're doing. Now, like I said before, you can also go in and you can set up all of your other applications like Final Cut, Photoshop, Capture One, whatever applications you use, Lightroom to some degree. And you can set up presets for each one of them for your tablet. And then you'll be able to, jump through really quickly and speed up your workflow. Let me see if I can get back over here real quick. I would give it a shot, because being able to increase your workflow will always increase your profit margin. If you can get through those wedding portraits, get through those headshot sessions, and you're able to give your client exactly what they're looking for as fast as possible, but as efficiently as possible, you cannot go wrong. So, as far as I'm concerned, trust me, guys, it's a worthwhile investment. All right, guys, so I just want to do a quick live today and, kind of go over a couple of these things with you. Like I said, this is the Wacom Intous Pro Medium. It comes in 3 different sizes. You have a small, medium, and a large. You also have other options from Wacom, which is the Intous, that is the non-pro version, that comes in 2 sizes, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the more advanced versions that have the built-in screens, and they can go up, considerably. But starting out between the Pro and the Standard, one of those 2 tablets I think is going to be a worthwhile investment for you if you're a photographer, if you're an artist, if you're into graphics, if you're into any of those industries or hobbies. This is going to be a powerful tool. Once you get one of these, you will never go back. You'll never be able to go back to just using your finger, here on your touchpad. And don't get me wrong, I do it sometimes because it's just, it's muscle memory. But even with that, if I'm really serious about something that I'm working on, trust me, I'm going to be using this tablet. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bring this live to an end. If you have not yet, please do follow me. And if you're interested in one of these tablets, like I said, just throw it in your shopping cart. Even if you don't get it now, it may go on sale in the near future, and you'll benefit from those, discounts. All right, so it's been Guy Rome. I will see you guys probably tomorrow, because I have something interesting that I want to do a live on tomorrow. So I haven't decided as to what time, because a lot of this is based on me going live in between my client work and, real life. So I'll pick a time, and I'll definitely make sure to post it on all of my social media platforms. If you already follow me on those, you'll most likely see it there. All right, guys, so I'm going to bring this live to an end. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and get out there and create something amazing. Peace. I'm out.